Hey, also, I finally watched F1. I know, I'm really late, but I was kind of on the fence about watching it anyways because Simone storyline was cut completely. She's basically in one cameo, as well as I heard that Dames Damson's storyline was also affected as a result. So I was on the fence because whatever said and done, diversity is important, and the two characters that got shafted were the diverse ones. And I love Brad Pitt, don't get me wrong, fantastic, but I just wanted to see a little bit more, right? But that being said, everyone and their mother told me how great this movie was, at least for my like group of friends. Obviously, all the guys were like immediately like, "Yo, man, this is amazing." But then even some of the girls were like, "Oh my god, I actually really like it. I'd watch it a second time," and I was like, "Now I'm intrigued." So I managed to grab one of the last sort of like VIP showings, and I did watch it, and I loved it. Now I kind of now that I've seen it, as much as I was upset about the fact that like they probably cut those two characters a lot, I think from a story perspective, it's a strong story right now because it really is all about the racing and the love of the sport and wanting to drive as fast as you can and win that championship. And that is like that is streamlined throughout the rest of the movie. So like I can't help but wonder because like a lot of what Brad Pitt says to like Jameson's character or like Sunny says to Joshua is like, that's all noise. That's all noise. Just focus on the race, focus on driving. Might have actually translated into the editing room because a lot of Joshua's sort of storylines was his trying to find struggle also to like get sponsorship and stuff like that. And he was like trying to like market himself just in case this team goes down to get another seat. And again, don't know what Simone's role possibly had in that too, but like it's fair to say that it might not have been about specifically the driving. Whereas in this case, this edited version, it really is just being the best driver and like the strategies that you play on the race and stuff like that. That being said, I do see like they did a good job, I think, editing, considering they edited out a bunch of stuff, probably. They did a good job, especially Brad Pitt's character storyline. You don't see any flaws, but I would say like Joshua's storyline, I felt like the beat in which he like transitions from like I hate this guy to I love this guy and I'd crash my car so and give up the championship so that he could win it. That felt very kind of a little tad sooner than I would expected. And I feel like I probably needed one or two more beats in there. Or even the fact that like maybe he instead of like Brad Pitt flipping over the two kings to show he had three of a kind, and he just gave up the win to Joshua, that maybe Joshua had like maybe come back because he was just something about it was kind of like I kind of want to know what he had, and to realize that oh he actually did give up the number one spot so he could have a better chance. I can also see why this movie does so well because it has so many moments that are like relatable to the characters. First of all, you got this old man, sorry Brad Pitt, but he's up in his years. He's kind of like out of his prime, and he's the underdog and like reckless and stuff like that. So it appeals to an older generation who feel like the world is saying you're too late, you're too old, you're not good enough anymore, and that's appealing. And but at the same time, they have Joshua who is like just hungry for this start, and he is not getting it right. Like he's just like either the car that he's given is a shit box or he doesn't have the right team and equipment. And I feel that also can relate to like a younger generation which feels like they've given all the tools but the world is working against them, right? So it's interesting in that sense because you are like appealing to both dynamics, like two different audience groups, and at the same time you are also like they had so many like F1 like names and images in there and legit racing that was absolutely freaking fantastic, that you're going to appeal to like the fans of a very very huge F1 demographic on top of that. And then obviously it's shot by a brilliant director who clearly knows how to film action because if you've seen Top Gun Maverick you know. So it's just a simple, clean, streamlined script about the F1 and like a guy who is also like this is also thing that I think that Brad Pitt's character is like kind of like appealing to like audiences is because he's such a free spirit, which I think we all kind of want. Like we're all tied down by either something in life, like whether it's our responsibilities that we chose, whether it's the financial burdens that we have to take, whether it's society telling us we can't do that this way. That's not Brad Pitt. He's literally going how he wants to go, and he focuses on the one thing that he loves. So if that means he like lives out of a van, that's fine. He may not have the family life that he like other people want, but for him, he's like every day he's driving, and that is the love that he wants to like pursue. So that in itself is kind of like, there's a part of you that will like longs for that same sort of like freedom, I think. And I think that's appealing to a lot of people as well. So it was just a very smart script and a very good cast. I heard they're thinking about doing a sequel, so I'm excited for that. I'm curious how they'll like. I hope they're sticking with the same cast and they're not just like new people. I don't think they would, but I'm curious to see how they'll bring it back. Maybe Brad Pitt comes back, but he's on a different team, and this time he actually races Joshua as a competitor. That would be kind of cool. But I also kind of want to see their more of their dynamic of like growing together. But yeah, I enjoyed it. You should watch it while it's still in theaters because it's one of those movies that I think you want to see on the big screen. You want to be immersed by the sounds and you want to be right in the feel of the car because like there are some beautiful shots where it's like right at nose level where like as the car is driving you're just seeing the road and that is gorgeous. Yeah, let me know. Did you like it?